Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Sparkles and Blessings. I'm Ducky, and I'm here in my recording studio. We've had a very overcast day here in Quartzsite, Arizona. Uh, it's been a very different day because I think we've only had droplets from time to time, and maybe this is the third time that we've had droplets. We certainly haven't seen any rain since we've been here from October. So the air has a different fragrance to it after a rain. It's hard to describe, but sometimes sitting in the desert, you catch this whiff of something undescribable. And I can't describe it, but I'm very happy to have had that experience. But I'm going on to story number 29, and I'm putting this under the heading of why I'm bitter. I have several things that I'm bitter about in life, but don't we all? And this one goes back to it was midnight. It was going on midnight, and the year was 1979, and it was the eve that we were going to go into 1980. It was New Year's Eve, 1980. It was going to be 1980. Oh, whole new kind of music was waiting for us. But that being said, there was a whole lot of music, good music that we had in the 70s. Now, I remember seeing John Lennon in an interview shortly after he passed away, after his death in 1980, where he says, I'm back to tell everybody, hey, I'm back. Wasn't music in the 70s kind of a drag, and we're going to make lots of good music in the 80s. And John Lennon himself said that. And I thought to himself, no, the music of the 70s wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. And then came the 80s. And then came the 90s. And then you kind of go, well, maybe the 70s wasn't the brightest for, writing and music, except there were moments, and these moments will go down, in musical history. The 1970s, there was Led Zeppelin, there was Pink Floyd, there was Supertramp. For some reason, Tony Orlando and Dawn just popped into my head, but we won't discuss that. The Eagles, Linda Ronstadt. There was so much good music. And when it was announced that one of Toronto's great radio stations was going to have the best of the 1970s music countdown, I was all ears. I started listening to it from number 100, and down it went, and down it went, and down it went. And songs that I knew came and passed, but I knew who was going to be I had an idea who should be. I knew it should either be Pink Floyd for Dark Side of the Moon, Led Zeppelin 4-3, I think, for Stairway to Heaven. The Eagles, there was just so much music, and I loved it all. So the songs kept counting down, and I had no idea what was about to happen. And so finally, it comes down to the third one. Okay, and I'm not sure, but it might have been Led Zeppelin was number 3, and Pink Floyd was number 2. And I'm going, what is going on here? Supertramp has already been on. What's left? And then they go, and the album number 1 is, and I'm going, okay, so maybe it was Supertramp, Even in the Quietest Moments, or Crime of the Century, both of which were notable records, and I would not have been offended had it been chosen. But the album was Breakfast in America. Can you believe it? That had just come out in the past year or two, and it was voted the number 1 album of the 70s. Well, I was beside myself, and I have been beside myself ever since, and I just had to talk about that. So that was my story. That was my story number 29, why I'm bitter about Supertramp. Okay, thank you for listening. This is Ducky out.